What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Straight Off the Hook. I'm Mikey Schlabach, and today I got a little bit of a different one. So currently I'm getting ready for another PBA event coming up this weekend in Anderson, Indiana, and I right now have my whole living room covered with bowling balls, trying to get things sorted out and organized and get them in bags ready for tomorrow, kind of just going through what I'm going to need and the shapes I'm looking to have. And I thought it'd be a really good time to actually walk through what's in my bag and why they're there and kind of what I look for in competition, and maybe give you guys a little bit of an idea of what to do for your own bags. Now, I'll be honest with you guys, this is a very personalized arsenal here. There's not much variety that you would think, because out of the bowling balls I have in the living room, I only throw probably a handful of them. But what's the old saying? You'd rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it. So that's kind of what we got set up here. But yeah, I would like to take you guys along here really quickly just to show you what we got, what we're going to be rolling with tomorrow, and kind of how I structure things in my bag. All right, so let's go through these bags together. What we got here in our Volt 3-ball roller, our first bag, is we got a thrill and a solid thrill and a venom shock. And obviously, we got our Joe Post spare ball there. The reason these are actually in this bag and not something else, because I usually would have urethane in this bag, the reason these are here is because, well, I just drilled them up brand new. And sometimes when I'll get some new stuff, the solid bowling balls will have a little shimmer to them. And I like to knock that shimmer off to make them a little bit duller. And because I did that to these, I need to make sure to throw them first in practice to knock off a little bit of that 2000 pad I put on them to get them closer to the surface I like to see. So this is kind of here more as a reminder to make sure to throw these in practice tomorrow and knock some of that dust off of them. Now the bag we're going to go to next is probably the one I'll start with tomorrow. And that is, Tank Rampage Pearls. Obviously, if any you guys have been following me for any time at all, you know that these are my favorite bowling balls. I absolutely love these. Obviously, they got me to the Cheetah Show at the World Championship, and I think 4 of my 5 titles in the regional tour have come from throwing urethane. So these bowling balls are a huge part of my arsenal, and I throw them quite a bit. Basically, what we have here is a progression from least aggressive to most aggressive. They get stronger as we go, kind of just to help with progression as we're on the lanes. We need a ball a little bit stronger, more aggressive to get around it. We just keep progressing until we can't no more. And then as we get out of these bowling balls and we move into these are kind of what I like to call the transition bowling balls, where we're getting out of urethane and we're getting into reactive resin. It's usually one of these 3 bowling balls here. We got another Venom Shock, a Black Venom, and a Crimson Jackal. The reason I like these is they're just really good at seeing like 35, 40 feet. They slow down. They're clean up through the fronts to where if they are a little flat, I'm able to get them through the fronts. But slow enough in the sense of changing direction down lane, I am able to control the pocket really well. However, with this one's a little bit different, because this is like the first trick layout I've ever liked. I didn't really like the Crimson Jackal. It was way too fast off the spot for me when I originally got it. However, Brett Spangler gave me a layout on this one where we put the pin in the middle finger, and I actually love this ball now. This ball is very, very good for what I need it for. And then as we progress left through the day even more, we get in front of the left gutter, get in front of the ball return, we move into these balls here. And I'll be honest with you guys, 9 times out of 10 when I get in front of the ball return, I'm probably going to go with this one. It is just my ace in the hole in a sense. It sees the lane really, really well at 40 feet, but also gets through the front part of the lane extremely well. I've never been a huge fan of pearl bowling balls just because my eyes don't like the looks of them when they really skim through the front and then really jump off the back. I like stuff that's a little bit more controlled. However, these 2 here I've become very fond of, because although they are pearl balls and get through the fronts really well, they actually slow down a little bit. Maybe that's just because of me trying to roll a little bit more, but I found that I'm able to actually control the middle part of the lane when I get really far left, when I really need to get the ball to see it. I found that these 2 pearl balls are my best look so far, until that red ball comes into play. It's sitting right over there, but unfortunately I can't throw that this weekend, but that is one I'm really excited about. Then we're going to move back into the bags that I kind of call this like no man's land. I don't really throw these much anymore because, well, these shapes are kind of already taken up in the other shapes up there, or I just am not a fan of how the ball sees the lane. But they do serve a purpose and they're here for a reason, such as this bag right here. I'll be honest with you guys, these bowling balls for me anymore just kind of hook too much on like 80% of the stuff we bowl on. Now they do have their purposes. Like last weekend in Lockport, I threw this Pride Liberty, looked amazing. They got a little soupy in the middle and they had a good spot to the right to throw it to, where a Venom Shock was just a little too clean to go through it, a little too clean through it. The Pride Liberty filled in perfectly, did its job, exactly what I need to do. Obviously, I'm not going anywhere without a Blue Coral Venom. And then this Primal Shock. I actually did win one of my titles with this Primal Shock. And I guess it's just a ball that it's so aggressive and it sees it so well. It's almost intimidating for me to throw, so I'd rather go to something that gives me a little bit more leeway to work with my hands, such as a Venom Shock or a Black Venom or even the Thrill Solid. And then we move into this bag here, and these two bowling balls, the EJ Venom and the Force, the reason I don't throw these too much is because, well, they're so unbelievably slow to respond to friction. And if I'm going to throw something this slow to respond to friction, I'm just going to go with the Rampages. I'm more comfortable with them. I like the way they feel. I like the way they look going down the lane. I have much more control over the Rampages than I do these. But however, like I said, they do serve a purpose, so I keep them in the bags for that purpose. And then this Supra, it's in the bag because I love it, but I don't throw it much because I hate it. It is a weird relationship. It is one where I could shoot 900 on a given day, but I could also shoot 140. So it's just there in case I need it, and it's kind of like a last resort. And then the bag back here, this is a bag I thought I would never ever bring to a tournament. That is my two-handed bag. I've got 2 Rampage Pearls, and I've got 1 Crimson Jackal because, well, urethane is really the only thing I feel comfortable using right now two-handed because I can control how it sees the lane a lot better than I can with reactive. And I'll be honest with you guys, I just don't want it to kite. I don't really have the confidence to pull the trigger in competition yet to throw it two-handed fully. But I do take the bag with me just in case. If worst comes to worst, always pull it out, see what happens. But there you guys go. That's how I have my bag laid out. This may not be how your bag is laid out. Everything is dependent on the bowler. Rev rate, speed, what you're bowling on too. I know that can make a big difference. And what you guys see here is just a typical regional event for me. Usually we bowl between 36 and 45 feet, and which is how much everything hooks nowadays. I really don't find myself throwing the bigger stuff anymore. I throw a lot of our low end stuff, and I found actually they're pretty good for me. And when you can kind of find the zone you're in, such as for me it's the Venom line, I throw a lot of Venoms, you can kind of build your bag around that and really fill the gaps that you need. So there you guys go. There's my arsenal for this weekend in Anderson. I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully we can use it and do some good with it. I'd love to go out and put together a good performance, but a lot of bowling to do and actually got a lot of sleep to catch up on tonight. So you guys take care, keep everything straight off the hook. See ya.